Live interview this evening. Wayne, Dr. Wayne, y'all hear me, right?
Yes, we hear you, Jerry. How's it going?
Good. God bless you. And like I said, this is W.J.R.G Radio Action First broadcast, and we are every Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. We try to have a nice special guest and just try to inform the public, what's going on in our community. But let me just say to Dr. Wayne McCray, how you doing, my brother? God bless you.
Well, I'm doing well, Jerry. I'm doing well, man. Honored to be on with you again as usual.
All right. And we have a legend in the house, the one and only, the Dr. Reverend Boise Kimber. He's also the president of the Clergy Association and the senior pastor for First Calvary Baptist Church in New Haven. How you doing, Reverend Boise Kimber? God bless you this evening.
Hey, thank you, Jerry and Wayne, for the invitation to join you tonight. I'm very proud of you, Jerry. I've always been proud of the work that you do in this community, and God bless you. And Wayne, you continue to stay with it. Maybe some rough hills at times, but stick to it.
Yes, sir. And I'm glad to have a mentor like you that I could call upon, man, and reach out to, Yes, sir.
It's definitely a blessing, man. But both of you guys are being a blessing to our community. I'm trying not to get no feedback, no echo, and I'm trying to turn my volume up so they can hear it good on the radio. But Dr. Kimber, first, let me just ask you, first of all, like I said, it's a pleasure having you on the show this evening. What was your feeling like when you heard the verdict of guilty for the police officer, Derek Sherbert, for the killing of George Floyd, man? What was your feeling like when you heard that verdict?
I think it was to me, it was a sigh of relief, number one, that he was found guilty on all counts.
Okay.
And then it was bittersweet. The bitter part of it is that George Floyd, along with countless others, Black men and women, have lost their lives, and those individual officers were not found guilty.
Right.
And I think the sweet part of it is that we have an opportunity to change legislation, change the course of how policing is done in our community. Okay,
because that was my next question. What's your stance on police brutality, especially against our people and people of color? Because, it's something that's rampant right now. and it's getting out of control, man. So what's your stance on that?
Well, I think it's way out of control, and that we have to look at the training. What kind of training these officers are receiving this day and time.
Okay,
Many of these individuals would have gotten away if there were not cameras pointing at them.
you're talking right.
Never known the effect of brothers and sisters losing their lives if it wasn't for someone videotaping what they are doing and how they are doing it to our people.
And you brought up a good point, because if going all the way back, and I remember this from a kid, because I'm 65 years old, but during the Kennedy assassination, it wasn't for the Abraham Zapruder film, right? To your point, if someone didn't film it, they could tell you anything and people will believe a lie. So with cameras today on these phones, that's really helping, our society, because now people can actually see what's going on around the world. And a lot of things police got away with for years, they cannot get away with it anymore because of these cameras. That's a great point you just brought up. Great point. Now, what can we do as a community, man, to stop some of this violence with our police officers as a community?
Well, as a community, we must take over, and we must take over our community. And when
Okay.
we take over our community, we must patrol our own community. And if we begin to patrol our own community, then we can eliminate officers just coming in our community and dealing with people, or people calling officers to come into our community. Listen, we have a problem here in New Haven, and most people probably don't even know it, that we have a police problem here.
Right.
You look at it, we've not solved many murders in this city. We have not even dealt with the shooting of Captain Duff. Who did it? We don't even
Right.
know. There is nothing out there that is telling us who they are looking at, what is transpiring. We got a problem here. We got a problem with officers using tactics that they have used, that they are using in the academy. We're talking about de-escalation. And our problem with the city of New Haven and the police department, how can you have a white man teaching de-escalation to police officers when you are talking about blacks who are being, one, harassed when officers come into our community? They don't know how to talk to us.
Right.
They don't know how to deal with us. We need to deal with urban trauma in our community. It is urban trauma that is going on. Our people are traumatized when officers come into our community, arrest our kids, arrest ladies, and nobody say anything about how they do it and what they do after they do it.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a serious problem now. Now, you was talking about like taking back our community. I remember back in the 60s and 70s when black businesses were definitely booming. We had a lot of clubs, right on Dixwell Avenue alone. Blacks was really flourishing and prospering and being great entrepreneurs. Because my dad had a store on Dixwell. I had a store on Willie. So what happened, man, to our the entrepreneurship with our people? What'd you say?
Well, they came in, and when I say they came in, gentrification came into our neighborhoods. And when they came into our neighborhood, they closed us down. The city closed us down. They closed down clubs in our community.
Right.
They closed down stores in our community. And right now, you have a liquor store, a little convenience store in every black neighborhood in this community.
Right.
And probably one or two on every corner. You cannot find one black convenience store, maybe one liquor store that is ran by blacks in Newhallville. But we got a problem. They give nothing back to this community. They charge people sometimes triple of what you could buy when you go to a Walmart or when you go to a Stop and Shop. So they are fleecing our community, and we continue to go in there and buy from them.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just the problem that we have as African American people, because I'll never forget, man, one time that you was speaking at Agape Christian Center when I had my store on Whaley, and you told everybody to stand up. You said, "I need y'all to go support Jerry Green." I never forget that on Whaley Avenue. He got the same product that white men have. All right, it's to me, it's just something. I don't know if it happened with slavery, because one time when we was booming as black people with our businesses, because we couldn't go to the white man's store. So we had no other choice but to do what we had to do. Because at that time, that's why you had the place in Harlem, or the Apollo Theater. You had all these places, the Monterey Club, the Soundtrack, because we couldn't go to the white establishments. We had to do our own. And once we got to the point we can go to the white establishment, we told our brothers basically and sisters, we don't need you no more. We can go to these other stores, boom. And I think the direction that we went as a race of people that really hurt us. Malcolm X talked about that way back in the 60s. I mean, back in the 60s about black nationalism, supporting each other. And once we went that direction, where we can, go to the Walmarts and go to these places in East Haven and North Haven, we totally forgot about our people. And that's when the Mexicans came in and took over the gas stations and the stores, the package stores and the gas station, stuff like that. And so we have to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what's going on?
Well, we only have in our community, we have funeral homes, we have barbershops,
yeah.
We have hairdressers.
Right.
There are a few Jamaican restaurants in our community now.
Right.
And if we don't buy and support each other, then those businesses will not be around much longer. We even have blacks going to the white funeral home. I mean, what is that?
I agree.
Yeah, they don't come. They barely would come to our black funeral homes. They don't come to our barbershops or our beauty salons. We're in a situation where blacks have to be proud of their heritage.
Right.
And they have to be proud of their community. The community will not be what it should be unless we invest in our own community. Look at what is happening in Dixwell, Newhallville. You got these apartments, Mandy, taking over, charging triple rent. Our people now are moving to Hamden, they're moving to Ansonia, they're moving to Derby, some as far as Meriden, Middletown. Listen, if you look at this city today, all of the apartments that they are building downtown, those apartments are not for black folks, because black people cannot afford the apartments there.
Right.
So what we have to do is reclaim our own community. Stop the negativism that they can't do. You will never hear a Jew in public talking about another Jew.
That's right.
You will never hear a white person who's in business talking about another white business in public. But us, we got to come off of that, and let's focus on taking our city back.
Right.
Let's take it back. Let's patrol our own city.
Right.
Let's become the police chief. Let's become the black mayor. Let's become the black politician. It can all happen if we come together.
No, I agree. I'm just, to me, that is, I definitely always admire what your mindset, what you do, I've been in this community my whole life, basically, like doing radio and trying to have an award show and everything in the city. But like I said, I'm just trying to figure out myself, man. It's mind-boggling because for some reason we just, when it comes to support, it's not there, man. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this thing out myself.
Listen,
I don't know.
Listen, look what the COVID-19 brought to you.
Yeah.
It brought your own internet radio broadcast.
But Dr. Boyce Kim, I'll give you a nice example with this. Now, all of us is on Facebook, right? Basically, all of us on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. Not that I monitor, who likes, hit the likes or comments. I'm talking about. I have a 24-hour gospel internet radio station playing gospel music, and I know a lot of people that's on Facebook or any other social media. Most of the people love gospel music, and most people know I do gospel music. We're doing it for over 30 years in the city. I can put up there, and we're talking about doing it for the Lord too. This is a ministry. I'm talking about church. I could put up there on Facebook about my dog, and I'll get over 200 comments. I could put up there about my station. I won't give one comment. One person won't even say, "Brother Green, are we enjoying the station?" or keep up. See, that's what I'm talking about because for some reason it's a mindset where people either they. I say that they love your success, but they don't want to see you make it. That's what I'm trying to say because if they support you, because love is showing. Love is action.
Here's what this is. That's the foolishness.
Right.
We like foolishness. We use Facebook for foolishness instead of using it as a broadcast outlet that we can get our message out.
Okay.
So we like getting on Facebook, showing up, doing the whole gamut, Instagram, Twitter. Let's talk about positive stuff that is happening in our community.
Right.
Not filming fights.
Right.
Cursing. Let's become educational minded that we can regain our community.
Right. I agree with you. Now, what made you decide to become a civil rights activist? Because you out there, you have your great friends with Reverend Al Sharpton, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. What made you decide to become a civil rights activist?
So I grew up in Alabama.
Okay.
I grew up in the country. I grew up picking cotton and picking pecans and black-eyed peas and butter beans, and I grew up in that. And I grew up under the era of George Wallace.
Right.
And there are some people who don't know George Wallace, but you need to read his bio. That George Wallace stood in the on the steps of the University of Alabama and said segregation now and segregation forever. What he was saying, ain't none of you Negroes coming to the University of Alabama.
Right.
So I grew up riding the school bus to school about 20 miles away.
Okay.
And I grew up with well water, spring water, outside toilets. I grew up under all of that. And I was able, my parents weren't able to send me to college, but I got a football scholarship.
Okay.
To Johnson C. Smith University and Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where my civil rights and my love for civil rights evolved, because Jesse Jackson came to our campus to speak. And I fell in love with what he was talking about, fell in love with civil rights, man. And Jesse took me under his wings as a young college student.
Okay.
And that relationship has evolved with him and Sharpton and Ralph Abernathy and M.L. King Jr., Yolanda King, who passed away, John Lewis,
yeah.
C.T. Vivens, and Hosea Williams, and all of the civil rights. And most people don't know that most of the civil rights leaders in the last 35 years, they were alive. They visited my church in New Hallville.
Wow.
And so I saw the cry of my big mama working for Mr. Arthur Smith, cleaning his house, taking care of his children, bringing leftovers from their house home during the day for us to eat. I dealt with all of that.
Right.
And so I was able to prepare myself for the journey. I received my doctorate of ministry from United Theological Seminary, developing a social justice consciousness in a local congregation.
Okay.
And my mentors were E.R. Edmonds at Dixwell. He sat on my council. Al Sharpton, Y.T. Walker, and Jesse Jackson. They were my mentors and counselor for me getting my doctorate. I was able to get a master's from Hartford Seminary.
Okay.
I was able to get a master's in sacred theology from Yale Divinity School. So I understand civil rights. And most people say, why don't Kimber go somewhere and shut up? If I'm quiet, the rock's gonna cry out.
There you go.
And if I am quiet, then what other voice is going to speak on behalf of what is going? I ain't speaking. People say, well, you can't speak for me. No, I'm speaking for what I feel,
Right.
and what is going on in this city. So no, I know I can't speak for you, but I do have some people at my church that I can speak for, and they listen.
And they're going to listen.
Yeah.
No, but you will have a major voice in our community, not just in our community. You know, I mean, first of all, you're well respected. You know, you paid your dues. You know, in our city, and also you helped a lot of people. You know, over the years, man. So your track record definitely speaks for itself. This is Action First broadcast with Dr. Wayne McCray. I'm Jerry Green at W.J.R.G Radio, and we are live with the Reverend Boise Kimber, the Dr. Boise Kimber, and he's the pastor of First Calvary Baptist Church right here in the city of New Haven, a civil rights activist. One of our mentors is doing a great job, you know, not only in our city, just doing a great job for our people. We need to respect, you know, for what he's doing. I understand right now, let's change the subject about vaccination. I understand you guys at your church are doing vaccinations now on Dixwell Avenue, right?
Yeah, we have this will be our third vaccination. We've done one with the city that I had to really fight with them about to New Hallville. We've done two with Cornell Scott. They have been, Mr. Taylor and Cornell Scott have been terrific and coming to our community and doing the vaccination. So we have on, I think it's May 6th, we will be doing another one there. We're talking to Yale right now that they're going to bring their mobile unit there hopefully sometime in late May. And we're going to continue because we believe that I believe and our church believe that the more people that are vaccinated, the better off, you know, we're going to be in our community.
Right.
I have partnered with this health initiative group out of Hartford, HES Health Initiative. They're in Hartford. And I've also partnered in Fairfield County with Southwestern Health Initiative. And so I want to get the message out that is important that we take this vaccination. Listen, I don't even want to talk to nobody who's saying who talking this nonsense and talking stuff that they don't even know what they're talking about. Well, what about the Tuskegee piece of it? You don't know nothing about Tuskegee. Have you read anything about Tuskegee?
Right.
Let's be for real here. Everybody was not given a shot in Tuskegee. They were not given a shot.
Right. Can I interject 1 second? Because you know, we know, you know, we need this, and I respect you, Doc. We need this but there's still things that in researching that I have researched and found out, with the blood types. And we see with Johnson and Johnson, that vaccine, there's some complicated, they got it on pause now because of some of the things that it's affecting. And one of the things that I look at is that, with population control, those things are key. But we know that this vaccine can help, and I'm for it. But my thing is that we got to, do a little more research as well too, because it affects. I know that it's key to different blood types, and it's affecting different people in different ways.
Listen, Wayne. Number one, Johnson
Mhm.
and Johnson have done 7 million or more vaccination, and only
Mhm.
6 to 7 people have fallen ill with the 7 to close to 8 million vaccination. That's number one.
Mhm. Right.
Number two, when we go to the doctor and the
Mhm.
doctor says you need this medication here to lower your blood pressure, to help your diabetes. You don't get in no argument with the doctor, and the doctor is saying, now, if you don't do this, you're going to die.
Mhm.
Most of us don't even come home and read what the medication is. We just start taking it because we trust
That's
the doctor.
true. Mhm.
So
Right.
why don't we look at this? All of the epidemiology scientists have said you need to take this vaccination. Dr. Fauci is on, Sanjay
Mhm.
Gupta is on every day. People all over the country validating the fact that we need to take the vaccination. So now,
Mhm.
if you don't want to take it, and people out there who are listening, if you don't want to take it, what I'm saying, stop going out and coming home and giving your mother and father this COVID-19 because you are not abiding by the CDC rules. Many people who have died with COVID-19, older people, they caught it from their children or from one of people they let in their house.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Right.
so 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 let's not what word I want to use. Let's not be ignorant of what
There you
is
go.
transpired in America.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, and of course, we can't be ignorant because a lot of times, and I'm for, and I'm not against it, and I'm for it, and we have had on Commissioner Smith, where he works with the vaccines, and he's an engineer, and they help, and there's insight that he knows from uh, reaching out to some of the Pfizer companies and different things, but also, in our getting, the Bible tell us in all our getting that we get understanding, and that's the only thing that is my view, because there's just like you said with our doctors. I go and I sit with my doctor, and when he prescribes certain things, because sometimes some of the medications they may give us, it affects, your body. You know how your body operates and functions. So there is sometimes that some medications I'll go to him, I say, well, doc, this medication is making me feel this kind of way, or I don't feel as though, and I'm not scrutinizing the medical physicians. But the thing is, most of the medical the prescriptions that they give us, and we know, like you said, because we don't read, we have to read, because the thing is, some of them, it may cause side effects. Some of my high blood pressure medicine, I had to take a lower dosage because it was affecting me in different ways, because I know my body,
Yeah,
so
but you kept taking it though.
well, I would go to them and would say, listen, this is not my body, I'm not feeling
So
that,
so they
this,
so they
so
adjust so they
yeah,
adjust
so
you.
make those adjustments,
Yeah.
but
So you
because
sound
then
like
they say that if, like you're taking it for one thing, but then we got to worry about five other side effects.
You get
So
side effects, right?
yeah,
yeah. So those things,
nothing is
I
perfect.
take into consideration, and
No,
I
no
research, and I go natural on some things.
no medication is perfect. There
Right.
is always some adjustment to medication. But
Mm-hmm.
Wayne, you on one end, you want to say it's all right. On the other end, you want to talk about, well, you know, this effect and that effect. Well, you got to say, I'm going to take the medication my doctor prescribed. He said to me that if I don't take the medication, then I'm going to die. So most people don't want to die.
No.
And they take the medication because they think that medication is going to help them. Yeah, it may prolong your life. But listen, let's not be foolish. And let's not be foolish in our community.
I agree.
My concern is about the community that I serve, and that's the Black community. And I'm not saying that I don't care about other communities, but my first obligation is the community in which I serve, the community where my church is, the people that I pastor. That's what my concern is, and that's why I stand and try to articulate what is going on in our city, what is going on in the state, and what is going on in our nation. And most people don't know. I'm all across the country. People invite me all along.
Right.
I understand the fact that people, you know, the Bible said that a prophet is not honored in his own hometown. Well, this ain't my hometown. I moved here.
Amen. Amen.
My hometown is in Alabama, and where really it is the cradle of the civil rights movement. Started in Alabama. The cradle of it didn't start. I have the experience from the cradle of where civil rights started. 60 miles. I lived 60 miles from Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow.
Right.
Understood.
And yes, sir. And that's why I put this back up, because the organization, the National Action Network that you're part of with Reverend Al Sharpton, right? Now, one of the things now, as we're talking about our community and our people in our community and making sure that they're well, because, you know, it's about making sure our people are protected and covered and getting some guidance in this process. But one of the things that I've been looking at with how, and I know that you have a bigger, broader view or understanding to what's happening at this national level. Now, we even see right now, as we're speaking, that the government is allowing the illegal aliens that are already in the United States, that are already here, right? Their kids are coming in at the borders by numerous numbers, because they already have family members here. And so now they're setting up these I call them concentration camps. But but the thing is, they're allowing these kids to come in and to reach out and to get reconnected with their families. These things, to me, raise an alert and are alarming us, that as we're concerned about our community, what's coming in over the fence. And so my concerns is that, yes, we need the vaccine. We need our people taking the vaccines and all this. And like I said, there's concerns with the blood types and those things. And so while we're right in here and they want us to mandate and take all these and get these shots, but still what's coming in over the fence is my concern for our people, because they say by the time 2050 gets here, America is going to be speaking more Spanish. That's going to be the first language. So right now, in the midst of all what's going on and all we discern, and like I said, I man, when you call me, I'm right there. But these are that I have. Yes, sir.
Listen, I am not against anybody
Right. I know that. No.
That want to have a better life. I ain't against that. What I am against is the fact that we were brought here.
Come on.
Right.
Against our own will.
Yes, sir.
And by virtue, we are here now. Let's take over. And when I say take over, we got to come together to take over the government. And what I mean by taking over the government, we've got to run black people for governor, lieutenant governor, for mayor, for state senator, representative. We have got to do that.
Yes, sir.
We got the power to do it. If they cannot win without the black vote, they can't win.
Right.
And what I am telling preachers and pastors this day and time, do not let white politicians come in your church unless you sit down with them and have a conversation with them about who they are,
right,
and what they represent, and how they gonna help the black community. You can't do that with me. You're gonna have to come a week ahead of time, and I'll find out whether or not it's good enough for you to stand before my people.
Right.
They need us.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But Dr. Wayne, I got a question as well. Then what is, I mean, what is our problem? That was the question I asked earlier. Then why is all this taking place? Why do we allow all these things to happen to us? You know, to our community, to our people. Now, I could say one thing about the mentality. All right. I mean, you know, being a black person myself, my father was an entrepreneur. I was the entrepreneur. You know, we try to support black much as we can, and working in corporate America for years, 40 years. I've been on a lot of boards with a lot of Caucasian people. All right. One thing about them and one thing about us, I can say, and I'm not putting us down or putting them up. If they put a plan together and they want to make something happen, trust me, they'll have a team leader, they'll have a captain. All right. I mean, they don't even have to speak to each other. They might even like each other, but they have a team leader, they have an agenda, and trust me, if they have a target date, that thing is done. All right. I've been on many teams and I've seen how they operate. Some about us, when it comes to a lot of us, you know, we got to worry about who's going to be the top dog, and you know, why is he's in charge, and you know, who's handling the money. It's just, I mean, you know, it's just something that about us, to me, it's a mentality, something that we have to deal with, because one thing about them, like I said,
it is a mindset.
It's a mindset, right?
And people listen how they group us.
Right.
They group us. Kimmer's out there. Kimmer must be getting money. Listen,
that's my point. Right.
Listen, y'all. Listen, I give more money away.
Yes, you do.
To anybody in this, anybody.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so it ain't about money for me. It is about liberation. That's what it's about. Right. Liberating black people to understand that you don't have to be in the predicament that you are in.
Exactly.
I'm on the phone this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning with Governor Ned Lamont, talking to him about the rental assistance. There are $230-something million for people who have paid their rent or couldn't pay their rent, that they can get reimbursed. Many of our people, and as I said to him, many of our people don't know where to go to do it.
There you go.
So why don't we set up venues in poor neighborhoods where people who are not able to pay their rent, that they can get some rent assistance? You got to understand that those who are renting to us and we haven't paid their rent, you haven't paid their rent, you know they're going to put you out.
Right.
Number one. If you get the money, because the rental person can get the money and the landlord can get money too. So that was one thing we talked about. The other thing we talked about this morning was early childhood. All this money coming for early childhood for people who cannot afford to pay for their kids to go to daycare. They can get it free.
Right.
Free. Then we talked about housing. Millions and millions of dollars will be allocated for people to build homes across this state. Then we talked about hiring people to get the word out about vaccines, paying them $23 an hour. This is what I fight for.
There you
I
go.
fight for people to get jobs, to be respected, to break down the glass ceiling and get into the corporate room and have the conversation. And let's look at it. How many black preachers can get into the corporate room in this city?
Not too many.
Not too many.
I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about our people, what you're going to do for us. Now, here's the other piece we talked about. FEMA. FEMA is giving $7,000 for persons, loved ones who have died for COVID-19. All you got to do, call up the funeral home, get your bill that you paid, and send it in to FEMA, and they're going to send you $7,000.
See?
These are the things
Wow.
that we've got to look at. Now, you also got to look at the fact that this city is going to receive $94 million from the CARE Acts. They'll get another $50 million from the state. And I had a conversation with Yale on yesterday. They're supposed to be giving the city $25 million. So I'm saying, what restrictions are on the money that you are giving to this city? The city will come with all of this money, but they ain't saying nothing about what they're going to do for black people and poor people in Dixwell and Newhallville and Dwight and Hill and Fairhaven.
Right.
That's right.
Here's what they're talking about. We're going to use some of that money for the arts. We're going to use some of that money for recreation, for the summer programs and stuff. Here's where I am. What are we going to do to sustain mothers who work 2 or 3 jobs, fathers who work 2 or 3 jobs? What are we going to do? How are we going to create opportunity for people?
Right.
We got to create opportunity with that money that they are getting.
That's right.
Listen, we do not want all of that money to go to the operation budget for the city of New Haven, because if it goes to the operation budget, they can do exactly what they want to do.
What they want to do.
And here's the other point. Y'all better wake up. You all know that this mayor hadn't done nothing for black people.
That's right.
What has he done for black people? People, he's done a good job. City Hall been closed down since last March, and they still ain't opened up fully yet, because their attention has been on COVID-19 rather than having their attention upon the community and helping our kids. Look at, we're so far behind in school. The school system is getting $37 million. What are they gonna do with it? How are we gonna help out? It ain't time for our kids to be going to the playground. It's time for us to help to educate them and to try to bring them back to where some of them was.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And this COVID has not helped us and helped our families and kids during this educational period, because we ain't been to school.
Right.
So I open up a hub at our church, free. Was able to get money from Yale to have a hub of 18 kids come there free every day with staff.
Wow.
Lola Nathan, who was the principal of Davis Street School for over 25 years in the district, over 40, she runs it every day.
Right.
Then I just was able to turn it into a daycare. People, why do you turn it into a daycare? Do you know how much money they're giving for a daycare now? Why wouldn't I?
That's right.
cash in on what they are giving. And
That's right.
We listen. There is nothing wrong with making money and thinking about how you're gonna make money. Ain't nothing wrong with that. White people do it every single day. They sit around and figure out how they gonna make a dollar from you.
That's right.
Mhm.
And you're talking
Well,
right.
well, it is a time with entrepreneurship. That's why especially with COVID experience, because the new normal, trying to find a new normal, and then a lot of employers are not bringing back the full staffs and different things to their operations. So it is time for entrepreneurship, and our people should be able to tap into resources. One of the things, I just went through a training with Community Foundation. There's a network of organizations. Doreen and Jeanette, they're running this organization for nonprofits to help them, to educate them on the process for nonprofits, and also because of the entrepreneurship that's needed, and for us to rethink things. Even our churches, our mission statements has changed. We know our outreach, my outreach, there's other things that we're trying to implement, in as far as being more effective as well, because we got to rethink things.
Let's talk about development.
Mm-hmm.
The plaza on Dixwell Avenue.
Yes, that's good.
Listen, hey, we ought to be applauding Eric Clemens and others who are working with him to develop this plaza,
Right.
to make it look like our community. I'm looking forward to the development and these are Black men. Paul McCraven. These are Black men who are coming to develop this.
There you go.
And that's what we want to see in our community, because Black people are developers also.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
This community, don't be around and say why they doing this. They shouldn't be. When the white man come in your community, you don't tell him he shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be doing that. Y'all don't say nothing.
You don't say nothing. Exactly.
Listen, we got the Q house across the street. Building the Q house.
Right.
Well, the lead, Henry Fernandez, will be running the Q house from Leap. I have a problem with that. Yeah. You want to be Black? Be Black.
You're talking right.
You built it in the center of the Black community, and now you got another color coming in and running it.
Right. I wanna say something too. That's why I applaud you about, like you said, your church is vaccinating people. Dr. Wayne, I want to say this one thing as well. This virus, all right, is just like drugs or anything else. All right, is not prejudiced towards any race. Everybody's is getting, they can catch this virus. When this vaccine first came out, trust me, the white people, they was hoping it was for the white folks, all right? And we had to fight basically to get it in our community so we can get vaccinated. It's just like guns. They want the guns in our community to kill each other. Soon as the white boys start shooting in the schools, now they want to bring them a better gun laws. See, long as it's something that's destroying us or hurting us, see, we're our worst enemies sometimes, because white people, they're going to take that vaccination, and if they can get all of it, they will take all of it for their kids and everybody, and don't care nothing about us. That's why we need people to fight. So make it even, Steven. So that way, if it's a vaccination and everybody's dying from this thing, make it even, Steven. Don't just give it to your group and not us. That's the problem I have with that too.
Listen, Jerry.
Yeah.
Most people don't understand this. You go by the field house on Sherman Avenue.
Yep. And I've been there.
The eyes are out there. You don't see no Black people walking in there.
Right.
They coming from all over.
All over.
State. Listen, even the vaccination that we give at our church, you got white people, you got everybody coming.
Right.
They line up to take it.
And Pratt Whitney does it in East Haven. I mean, East Hartford at the Renfield Field.
Yes.
Wayne, it's the cars are out. I mean, the cars are out now out in the street, man. They got a cop directing traffic, get people in there, and most of the people, white people, getting that shot because they don't care nothing about us. They really don't. They want us to die. They don't care nothing about us. They want it for them, really. We have to fight. That's why guys like Reverend Kimber got to fight. We got to fight to get the same vaccination that they got, because when it comes to even like drugs, I mean, drugs don't have drugs don't care about color. You get hooked, you hook, but they want to keep the drugs in our community. So we have to understand, when something's there for us, we got to get it. We got to take it.
Most people don't understand that we have a food problem in our community. So we've been giving out food all over New Home.
Mm-hmm.
I had to fight the city for that because I went to the state and said, look, hey, we got a food problem in New Homeville. We need your help. They said, well, why don't you work with the city? And the city will help you all get food. I tried that. But I ended up having to raise money for the first almost 2 months with Kim Harris to feed people out of our church, church. We got a health problem.
Right.
A lot of people in our community don't even have health care.
Right.
In our community. We got a job problem. You got to look at the unemployment rate in Dixwell and New Homeville and across the city when it comes to Black people.
Right.
And we sitting around trying to worry about who gonna drink from the well first. It don't matter. There's enough water for everybody.
Right. That's right. That's right.
It's enough for us to do if we come together. People say, well, you are arguing with the chief of police about who they got to do the training for de-escalation. I ain't arguing. I'm just telling you that it is not right for a former white police officer to come back and teach de-escalation to police officers on how to treat Black people when you come to their community.
Right.
How do white folk know how to treat us?
They don't.
If they knew how to treat us as police officers, we would not be talking about the number of Blacks who have died in the hands of the police officers from this time, from last year to now. So I'm saying, do Black lives matter? Do they matter to you who live in the community?
Yes, they matter. Yes, without a doubt.
Yes, amen.
Yeah. And somebody has got to stand and share, not just marching. It's good to march. I've marched all my life, but we got to go sit in the room and say, listen, this ain't what we gonna do, and this ain't what we gonna take. And then we need to stop telling people to shut up and be quiet. Who do you think gonna speak for you? That you can't speak for yourself. You can't articulate what they're saying. You are disenfranchised.
Right. No, you're talking right.
So stop playing in the hands of people who don't live in our community and telling us to shut up. That's what they want y'all to say.
Right.
They print stuff like that.
You're talking right. Well, Dr. Kimmer, I got a final question for you, because I appreciate, we had you here almost an hour, man. I know you.
Man, I knew it was gonna be epic.
Who inspired you coming up? Which leader? Dr. King, Malcolm X. Any of the leaders that inspired you coming up? To make you want to be an activist.
Yeah, my big mama inspired me.
Okay.
Because she knew how to. She was in the civil rights and didn't know she was in the civil rights movement.
Right.
I was inspired by her. I was mostly never met Dr. King, but I was inspired by his preaching and by his history and what he did. And I always remember that Dr. King did not become a martyr until they killed him in Memphis.
That's right. That's right.
That's when everybody started loving on Dr. King. White people, Jews,
but they hated him back then.
Loving on him.
But they hated him back then, right? That's why they killed him, right?
And then Y.T. Walker, Jesse Jackson, T.J. Jemison, W. Franklin Richardson, that whole crowd of civil rights people that I've had contact with have inspired me and have poured into me because they always would say, you can't be scared to speak truth to power.
That's right.
And if more Black preachers and Black people would speak truth to power, our city, our state, and our world would be a better place. I'm not stretching where I don't itch. Why? I'm not smiling when ain't nothing funny.
That's right.
Be real about who you are.
Right.
And that's why I've never been able to work for the establishment, because somebody has to keep the establishment honest.
That's right.
What they do. Hey, look, guys. Thank you, Jerry. It's so good to be here, man.
You're a blessing. You're a blessing to us, brother.
Good to be here. And,
yes.
I appreciate y'all having me on. I know you've asked me many a times. I had some time today, and I appreciate it. Jerry, my prayers are with you, man. And I pray for you that God will continue to give you a voice and give you the place where you can exercise your voice. And Wayne, keep up the good work. You and I got a lot of work to do to get done.
Oh, yes, sir. You know I'm on board. You know I'm on board, guys. Yes, sir.
Amen.
But listen, and before we close out too, man, I'm organizing for the August 21st for the Peace Rally on the Green. And one of the things that I'm going to flash this so that they can see it, this banner here, because we want to exemplify this. We know peace starts within. Amen. So we want to make this happen on August 21st. And we definitely want to have you there, Doc. Also, one of the presentations that we want to do, leaders like yourself, and as you mentioned about Dr. Martin Luther King, it's something that I've been pressing on my heart to do. We want a pair of shoes from the leaders, because we're going to have a display case established down at City Hall, because we want our kids, when they are touring the City Hall, when the schools go, when we get back to a normalcy and they're able to go in there and they tour City Hall, we want this showcase of these 12 pairs of shoes of leaders that have paved the way, because the next generation got to fill those shoes. And we know that your journey is not done yet. And we want to honor you in that way as well, that you have a pair of your shoes in there, because it will be a constant reminder to the young people that on their journey, they're going to come across some shoes that they're going to need to fill. And in life, it's a process. And it's going to always, we got to grow into that. So it's a process. And I thank God for you. And I call you our Moses. And I respect you a lot, Dr. Kimbrough. And whenever you call on me, I'm right here. So at this time, only thing I want to say is that I want to thank y'all for taking action first today, because I knew it was going to be epic. And it's definitely a part 2, a part 3. Doc, whenever you want to come on, we'll make room for you, because you're enlightening our community. And regardless of whatever people think of it's not about their opinion or what they may say. We know that we need guidance and we need to help our people, and keep doing what you do.
Jerry, let me say this before I go.
Okay.
I was when I came here 35 years ago, I was inspired by Reverend E.R. Edmonds at Dixwell.
Okay.
That was a mentor of mine. I would be with him every day.
Wow.
I would pick him up from school and sit at his feet. C.M. Cofield, Dr. Cofield was
Yep.
another person. Thomas Holmes, Jeremiah Coverton, even Ardell Tucker, C.H. Brewer, Senior and Junior. Those people poured into me
There you go.
in this city. A lot of people. George Hampton over at Shiloh. All of those guys. Thomas Donaldson, who was at New Hope Church. Reverend Epps at Union
Temple. Yep.
All of those guys. Hey man, bless y'all.
All right.
Let's be
God
blessed.
bless you.
Thank you so very much.
Listen, all right. Well, I want to thank y'all for taking action first. So can y'all say that with me?
Action first.
All right.
All right. God bless. All right, Dr. Kimber. God bless, Dr. Wayne. All right.
Yes,
and now
sir.
back to some more great gospel music on W.J.R.G. All right, you guys.